All right, good evening, Marianas. This is going to be a special broadcast that we've got for you this evening. It's not normal. It's not something we would normally typically do, but what we've got right now is pretty neat. We've got on the way a special briefing from the National Weather Service. They're going to go live at 5 o'clock, and we're going to go ahead and bring that to you as well. We're just waiting for them to punch the ticket to go live, and then we'll have it for you here in just a little bit. So thanks for tuning in. The good news is we had Landon Adlet on, the meteorologist for the National Weather Service this morning, and he said that while it's likely going to turn into something, the reality is that we probably won't have anything more here than a tropical depression. But this afternoon came out and said that as of 1 o'clock, Joint Typhoon Warning Center upgraded 95 West to high for development, where it was low before. So that means going to be likely going to be upgraded to a tropical depression within the next 24 hours. So whatever ends up happening with this storm, basically Landon was saying that we're going to expect some rain over the next few days. He said it's a multi-day event. So that's what we're waiting for. They're going to go live here in a minute. We're going to bring it to you. And then we'll be able to take your calls and questions afterwards. Here we go, folks. We'll get you all punched up.
To Guam. Hang tight. We're going to let people come into this live broadcast, and then we'll get underway in about 2 more minutes.
That's Landon from Guam. And he's going to get our, oh, geez. Let's get the image up there. He's going to get us everything that we need here in just a few minutes. He said he's just waiting for some more folks to jump on here before he punches it and goes live, which is fine. So you're looking at, these are the images coming to us from...
As we're waiting for people to join into this live broadcast with the latest on Invest 95W, we're looking at a live shot at the Doppler weather radar here on Guam at the showers surging in from the east ahead of the approaching tropical disturbance. We'll get underway in about 1 more minute. And again, if you have any questions, any thoughts, comments, concerns, please type those into the text window. We will have forecasters standing by to answer your questions, as well as for any actions on the civilian government side with Guam Homeland Security and the CNMI Homeland Security offices. At this time, there are no conditions set for either Guam or the CNMI, and there are no watches or warnings for tropical cyclones at this time from the National Weather Service. We're going to switch right over to this visible satellite image showing the animated loop of this developing tropical disturbance, now about halfway between Guam and Chuuk. And so, again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type in your questions. We'll have forecasters standing by to answer your questions. Joshua, the camera is yours. And so again, thank you for joining us here at the National Weather Service Guam office. We are here to discuss this developing tropical disturbance, Invest Area 95W. The big update for the day was that the Joint Typhoon Warning Center did upgrade this disturbance to a tropical cyclone formation alert. That means that 95W could be upgraded to a tropical depression in the next 24 hours. We're going to be watching this trend as it makes its approach to Guam and the lower CNMI. We're looking at a passage probably closest to Guam over the next 24 hours. So we're looking at a arrival time Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. That will be tomorrow, most likely as a tropical depression. Before we get over to the details on that, I do want to highlight all this weather coming up on the south side of this disturbance. We have Chuk Lagoon right about here where they've been socked in with showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds. We're seeing the winds just surge across areas south of the outer islands of Yap State and Chuk State, all the way down toward the equator, with the trades surging in on the north side of this disturbance right here. The weakest winds are right there in the middle, but the winds are surging on the north side of this thing. We're going to switch over to the slides right quick and get into the details on this 95W. So hang tight as we switch frames. There we go. So this is the Joint Typhoon Warning Center homepage showing that 95W now upgraded to a tropical cyclone formation alert. That is a rating of high for development. That happened about 1 o'clock this afternoon. At that time, it was located about 10.6 north, 148.2, about halfway between Winochuk and Guam, moving slowly toward the west-northwest. That was about 300 statute miles east-southeast of Guam. This is the formation alert chart showing that forecast track making a beeline for Guam. So this could pass either very near to Guam sometime Tuesday afternoon in the evening, or very nearby or overhead. So we're going to be watching out for that, but that's not entirely all the bad news that we have. It looks like it could be a little bit better news for Guam with this passage, and not so good for the CNMI, because the stronger winds are all up on the north side. And so this possible development region, that is directed pretty much toward Guam. This will likely be upgraded to a tropical depression sometime in the next 24 hours to passing Guam and south of Rota, Tinian, and Saipan. Again, the key point is the strongest winds are on the north side. So just because we're having a passage closest to Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan could see stronger winds. How strong are we looking at? Well, we're going to talk to Christian very shortly about what you can expect in the CNMI with this passage. Some of the key points. At this time, we have no tropical storm or typhoon watches or warnings in effect. They are not anticipated with this event. We've had a lot of questions and concern about, is this going to be another Typhoon Mawar? Will it be a typhoon? Most likely, this is going to be a tropical depression at time of passage. This will not be another Mawar, nor will it be a typhoon at time of passage. That is the good news. But it will be a two-part tropical weather event. We're going to have this disturbance pass by on Tuesday night, but then we're going to have the monsoon surge develop behind this passage and could keep the winds and rains in place over the Mariana Islands well into the end of the week, possibly into the weekend, depending on some of the trends. The combination of 95W passing through tomorrow as a possible depression and the following monsoon could create a multi-day rainfall event. That's going to be the biggest news. I think we're going to be looking at more of a rain event than a wind event with this passage. Moderate to heavy showers through the end of the week, possibly into the weekend. The symmetry of 95W, weaker winds are close to the center and stronger winds extend farther to the north. Breezy northeast to east winds will be shifting to the southeast and the south by Wednesday across the region. Guam could see stronger winds during the monsoon surge than during the passage of 95W. Keep that in mind. This week may be a rain event more than a wind event, and a flash flood watch is in effect for Guam and the CNMI. That could be upgraded to a flash flood warning. Again, this is not going to be a super typhoon. This is not going to be a typhoon. This is not going to be another Typhoon Mawar for Guam or another Typhoon U2 for the CNMI. That is the good news. Most likely a tropical depression with maximum sustained winds of 38 miles per hour or less. Again, this is going to be more of a rain event than a wind event. So keep that in mind. We're going to hop right across the floor to Edwin. We're going to talk about what people can expect in Western Micronesia, Chuk, Yap, and Palau for the next couple days.
All right, hello everybody. This is Edwin Montvilla, and we will talk about Western Micronesia. So, as you can take a look at satellite imagery on my AWIPS right now, Chuk is encountering peak intensity showers right at this moment, and that is expected to continue through tonight. Expect overcast skies, frequent heavy showers, and occasionally strong gusts. Now, as this aforementioned disturbance continues its trek towards the Marianas, conditions are expected to steadily improve at Chuk, and in the second half of the week we should expect patchy showers. Now if we move on over to Palau and Yap, westerlies have started to move across this region. So as that disturbance which may become a tropical depression, continues its northwestern trek, it will bring a monsoon surge first across Palau and Yap around midweek, and then towards the end, we're going to see increasing winds, increasing seas, and increasing showers and thunderstorms. For those planning to make any seafarers trips, keep in mind that seas may become hazardous to small craft starting Wednesday night. But at this time, the timing is still uncertain, so I would be out on the lookout, watch for this possible development in the next few days.
So again, just a couple questions. How long will the showers continue at Chuuk? They're getting some heavy rainfall across much of the state right now. How much longer will they keep in place?
That is correct. So the showers, it is just going to be generally a wet trend for the next few days. But if we are talking about just pure coverage-wise, tonight will be the highest amount. We're reaching nearly 100% chance of showers. Those will continue. But as the ridge starts to form from the east, the showers are expected to decrease in the next few days. But there will
That a lot of small vessels in Chuuk are in anchorage now due to rough conditions at the dock. How will the seas be at Chuuk in the lagoon and also across Chuuk State?
So if we take one look again back to Chuuk State here, so this does make quite a bit of sense. So while swells may not be very high, wind waves are significant. So the combined choppy seas, due to is mixing of winds and showers and these outflow boundaries generated, the seas will remain choppy for at least the next few days. We're looking at possibly through at least Thursday. So for those faring out to the outer islands of Chuuk State, I would be careful and watch for those hazardous seas.
Okay, we've also had a couple of questions on our social media posts the last couple of days regarding Palau and Yap. Is 95W a direct threat to Palau or Yap? Will it be going near those locations?
So there is no direct threat from this potential tropical depression, as it actually will move away from the region, but that monsoon surge that will develop in its wake as it moves away will bring impacts of just the monsoon flow in general. So we're going to see increasing showers, increasing seas, increasing winds, but no direct passage expected at this time.
Okay, so monsoonal effects coming to Palau and Yap, and people there should stay attuned to weather forecasting conditions in the coming days.
That is correct.
All right, thank you so much, Edwin. We're going to hop right over to the Mariana Islands. We're going to talk to Christian. Tell us what you have for Guam and the CNMI and what people should expect.
Alpha Day, this is Christian Williams with the National Weather Service here in Guam, and I'll bring you the forecast for the Marianas in Guam. So right now, if you look at the radar, we have kind of the outer edges of the rain bands. We had a couple move through earlier across Guam that produced some heavy rainfall. We recorded nearly an inch here at the weather office, and some parts of West Central Guam got quite a bit of rain in just a short amount of time. And so as we zoom out, we see more coverage in the rain bands, and that's where our focus is for the next few days, is heavy rainfall at times throughout these some of these higher where you see some of the darker colors here. And this will lead to potential areas of some urban and small stream flooding, and even the potential for flash flooding. So make sure you tune into our forecast and stay up to date in case we issue a flash flood warning over the next few days. As we move through parts of the week, we as the system moves through for Guam and Rota, closer to the center, as what was previously stated by Landon, we're looking at some calmer winds. That would be Tuesday night and during the daytime Tuesday as well. And this is when for Guam specifically, where we're looking at the shift in winds from easterly to more southeasterly, and Tuesday night for Rota. Now for Saipan and Tinian, to the north of the systems, where we're looking at some of the stronger winds, so 20 to 25 mile per hour, even some 30 miles per hour will be possible on land, and then across the coastal areas, 20 to 25 knots will be possible Tuesday during the daytime, Tuesday and Tuesday night. And then as we get into Wednesday, on the coastal waters, even some 30-knot winds will be possible. And this is when we're also anticipating the shift in winds from easterly to southeasterly to even some southerly winds. And so this time period is when we start to see the monsoonal flow move in behind the potential tropical depression. And across the Marianas, even down to Guam, that's when we're anticipating our increase of winds to potentially 25 knots or higher. And this could potentially be hazardous, not even potentially, this would be hazardous to small craft. And we already have a small craft advisory out that will start at 4 a.m. tonight and goes until 6 p.m. Thursday. And then there will be potential for a high risk of rip currents starting Tuesday night, as well as this swath of larger winds causes seas to increase. And then for rainfall, we have the flash flood watch out until Thursday evening, and during that period, 4 to 8 inches of rain will be possible. But even going into the weekend, there will still be the potential for heavy rainfall all the way through even potentially approaching even parts of Monday. So this monsoonal flow pattern will produce multiple days of heavy rain, and that's where our focus lies for this event, more so than the wind.
All right, thank you so much, Christian. And just to summarize, about how much rain are we expecting? Because we do have a flood watch in effect now at this time for the next several days. What kind of rainfall are we looking at this week?
So at least through the flash flood watch until Thursday evening, we're looking at 4 to 8 inches of rain. Additional rainfall amounts will be possible after the flash flood watch, and that flash flood watch may need to be extended in time as we get closer to that time period.
Okay, and that tropical disturbance, that'll be part one for weather this week. Part two will be that monsoon surge. About what time will that wind shift from the east to the south?
So for Guam and Rota, that wind shift looks to occur sometime around Tuesday night, whereas for Saipan and Tinian, it looks to occur sometime Wednesday morning.
All right, thank you so much, Christian, for that information. And again, for those upstream and in the Mariana Islands, if you have any questions, do type those up in our Facebook. I do get a report from Joshua in the CNMI stating some heavy showers right now in Saipan. We did have some heavy showers here across Guam, prompting a flood advisory for the western parts of Guam. We're going to see that trend increase, especially as the showers start to move in over the next several hours. Again, this 95W sitting to our southeast, it's going to be gaining some liftage over the next couple days, passing somewhere near or over Guam's later on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that information. And again, this is all we have right now. This is the latest information, tropical cyclone formation alert on this disturbance as it makes its way through the Mariana Islands tomorrow. Stay tuned and keep up to date with all the latest weather forecast and information at weather.gov/GUM.
All right, well, that's it. They've just wrapped up that video. So to get you guys back into the swing of things, and we could even show you this whole thing again. What it was is, here's what we took away from it, that there's going to be some development in the region of Guam for that storm by Tuesday afternoon. So that the heart of that storm, if you will, it's starting to get organized. It just has been disorganized for a while. It's supposed to get organized and passing just south of Guam somewhere tomorrow afternoon. That's according to Landon Aylett, the meteorologist for the National Weather Service. While he said that Saipan, Tinian, and Rota could also see stronger winds because it's in the northwest quadrant of that storm, which is probably what's going to happen. at its worst, they said, don't worry. This is the maximum sustained winds will be 38 miles per hour or less. So that's a good thing. It's nothing to worry, nothing to freak out about. If you've got some loose stuff that could blow around outside, that's fine. But he's saying this is not a tropical cyclone. This is not a typhoon. It's not things that you're going to have to worry about in that regard. He said that it's primarily going to be a rain event and not a wind event. He said it's a 2-part tropical weather event because after the storm does move through tomorrow afternoon, what's going to move in is a monsoon surge, and we're looking at a lot more rain that's going to fall through the rest of the week. We heard from Edwin Montevilla, who talked more about what's happening in Chuuk and the FSM. Then we heard from Christian, who has given us the report about what's going to happen here in the CNMI, what to expect up here. And so that's good. We're looking at getting, this is, like he said, to quote him directly, this is more of a rain event than a wind event. So if you are in an area that's prone to flooding, this is time for you to pay attention and get ready for that and expect that. Now, there's going to be a lot of running. Again, tomorrow afternoon is when the strength of it's supposed to pass through Guam. The development region is what they call it. It's supposed to pass through Guam, but Rota, Tinian, and Saipan could see stronger winds. However, again, it's more of a rain event than a wind event. And after the storm blows through tomorrow afternoon, right after that is when we are going to expect a monsoon surge, and we're going to have a lot more rain for the next few days. So fantastic, unless you like baseball. Saipan Baseball League probably not going to get underway. It's funny because they were saying that the percentage of rain was going to pick up as the night goes on, and as they started broadcasting, it started raining here in Saipan. If you've got any questions, just send them our way, and we got great communication directly with Landon and his team. So if you've got questions, just send them our way. You can send them on our show line, which is 789-2323. Anyway, good news is it's not going to be so windy. Bad news is it's going to be pretty rainy. So if you've got some empty tanks at the house, or maybe you got an empty pool, this is going to help you fill it up. Not too shabby, right? All right, folks. Well, that's what we've got. If you want to follow any of this again, we're about to wrap up the broadcast. You can always replay it right here. And again, if you have more questions, send them our way. You can send them to the phone, and we'll reach out to the National Weather Service directly. You can message them directly too on their Facebook page, and they'll probably get back to you. If you're not getting anything back, just send it to us. And we know Landon; he's pretty cool with us, and we're happy to do that. It's great to see you guys, though. Thanks for tuning in. And again, when you're talking to people about what's going on, again, it's not the rumors; it's the actual facts. It's a 2-part tropical weather event. It's going to generate more rain than it's going to be more of a rain event than a wind event. So that's the good news. All right. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we'll have Good Morning Mariana starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow like we normally do, right? The other part is, though, we got a message from the good folks over at the Homeland Security Emergency Management, Bernard Villagomez, letting us know they're going to have a special briefing tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we'll pack up the show and we'll head up to Capitol Hill, and we'll bring you that live tomorrow. So we'll make sure we bring our raincoats so you guys can turn up to AirCon and bundle up with a nice poncho liner or something. Yeah, not a typhoon, Freddie. Thanks for weighing in over there. Not a typhoon, not a typhoon, not a typhoon. What they told us specifically is that it's going to turn into a tropical depression within the next 24 hours. Likely going to make its closest point of approach as a tropical depression, not a storm, a tropical depression by Guam sometime tomorrow afternoon. And while that happens, some of the stronger winds may be coming through Rota, Tinian, and Saipan because of the way that is starting to develop. Again, it's not a big circulation event. They said this is more of a rain event than a wind event, so we're just going to get wet. Pretty good. Pretty wet. All right. So if you guys have any other questions, send them our way. We'll be back tomorrow morning for a Good Morning Marianas, and we'll be back after that show from the Homeland Security and Emergency Management. where we get their briefing at 10 o'clock. All right? So you guys rest well. If you are in an area that's prone to flooding, well, this is going to be your Super Bowl because it's probably going to rain a lot in the next week. Okay? That's all we got. So if you got any questions, send a message to the show phone, 670-789-2323. All right. Have a great night, Marianas. Talk to you soon. See you in the morning.